this is great to have because it's back on campus too. He's an alumni of our fine institution, which is lovely. Did not study sustainability here because it didn't exist way back then. It wasn't that long ago, but this was before the program. So without further ado, please help me welcome the Environmental Health and Safety Manager for Eaton Corporation, John Meyer.
I like to move around a lot. Yeah, it's great to be back. So today we're going to talk about choosing zero. It's one of our sayings at South Bend and Eaton Global. And we'll go through this quick presentation. All right, my background, I'm an Environmental Health and Safety Manager for Eaton Corporation. Over a decade of EHS experience in environmental project management, process safety management. I was a health and safety manager at the ethanol plant, which produces 85 million gallons of ethanol annually. And currently, I'm in manufacturing. So, has anyone heard of Eaton? Okay, get a raise of hands. Okay, we got a few. All right, so Eaton has 95,000 employees globally, and we did $20 billion in revenue. So it's quite a large company. We actually have 4 divisions. We have the electrical, hydraulic, aerospace, and vehicle group. So Eaton South Bend, we're actually in the vehicle group division, and we do forgings. Has anyone heard of a forging before? Okay, we have one. All right, so we'll go through that here shortly. But we produce forgings for heavy truck division, so transmissions. We also do gears for vehicles such as Ford, GM, and also ATV and UTV markets. All right, so this is a heavy truck transmission. I'm going to walk you through the forging process real quick. So if you look here, these are billets. So we get this long piece of steel that comes in. It can weigh anywhere from a few ounces to 34 pounds. So we get this billet depending on the product, and then we heat it to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit using an induction coil. And once it gets to 2,000 degrees, we put it in this press. And this press can hit up to 6 million pounds of force to forge that piece of steel into a die. And then, as you can see, as it goes through the loop, through the transfer conveyor, and then that's the finished product right there. So it's pretty interesting to see how much heat and pressure it really takes to take that same piece of steel and change its form. Now, if you look here, I don't know if the picture does it any justice, but see kind of these gray forgings. So when you see bright red, you automatically think that's extremely hot, right? 2,000 degrees or so. But even the ones that are gray, they're still about 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's kind of misleading when you see something and you're like, oh, well, it can't be hot. And then really, you find out the wrong one or the bad one. That's a safety guy. All right, so Eaton sustainability. So everyone at our facility, we all wear the same uniform, from the plant manager to finance to EHS. Doesn't matter, materials, and every uniform has a patch on it, and that patch says choose zero. That's everybody's commitment at our facility to say that we are truly going to choose zero, and that's in safety and in our environmental impact. So that's a daily reminder for us. So part of our 5 basic concepts in South Bend is involvement. It's safety first, community trust, mutual respect, and involvement. So involvement's the last one, but it's very important. So the green team, that's our sustainability team. It's comprised of about 14% of our employees. We have about 100 employees. So not only is their job to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to be a materials person, I'm going to be a forger, I'm going to be in supply, shipping and receiving. Their extra duty is to say, hey, what can I do to make South Bend, Eaton South Bend great? So we ask every teammate. So we also call our employees teammates. So not only do we use the same uniform, but we refer to each other as a teammate. Because we are a team. They're actually industrial athletes if you think about it. So what we ask them is say, hey, let's take part. Let's do something together. And it's a cross-functional team. So it's not all management, it's not all materials, it's not all forgers, it's a cross-functional team. So it's every single person in every department has a representative to speak for them, to say, hey, I have a different way of looking at things. So if I'm in materials or if I'm in finance, we have two ways of looking at things at times. Materials might look at LIFO or FIFO, or finance is looking at the bottom line, the dollar. So when we bring all those different ways of thinking in, we truly get a cross-functional team that produces something that's dynamic. And we're going to talk about their mission, deliverables, and then 3 of the projects the green team are 2 of them that they've done and 1 that they're looking at. All right, their mission. So first thing when you get a team, you want to have a common goal, right? So you want to have a mission. So the mission is to identify, implement, and monitor programs that contribute to improved sustainability. So you also want to have deliverables to achieve that mission, correct? And that's where the team, now these goals were not driven by EHS, not by myself, but the cross-functional team. I'm only there just kind of giving them a guide, kind of the pathway to keep them on target. So they came up with, let's identify, communicate, and implement sustainable practices for the workplace. So that's kind of the framework. Let's achieve yearly sustainable goals. So where are we going to? Where is our future? Where is our path? And it's going to change year over year. Maybe in the 5-year plan, maybe in a 2-year plan. And then you want to benchmark one facility to generate ideas for improvement. Because a team is only limited to the group, so you have 14 members in this green team. So they want to see what other innovative ideas that other facilities do. And it's just not in Eaton as well. We look at other corporations. And then ultimately, facility site goal of achieving zero waste by 2014. That was one of their first goals of the charter mission, which was achieved. And we'll go into that one. Permanently reduce environmentally related costs in order to make the business competitive. So notice the key word, permanently. If it's only a short period of time, is that truly sustainable? It's only just a short cost out or cost savings, whatever you'd like to call it. All right, so project 1, zero waste to landfill. So this is the overview. We're going to talk about what is zero waste to landfill. A lot of people are like, well, you're a very large facility. You do 2 million forgings a year. Surely you got to have waste. Seriously, nothing's going to landfill, and we'll talk about that. Then the waste stream identification. That's part of the process of saying how do we achieve zero waste to landfill. Then we're going to talk about the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, which I'm sure almost every single person here has seen some sort of advertisement on the TV or in the internet pop up talking about that. So it's not a new idea. Then the plant layout, we're going to talk about point of generation and behavioral functions that people want to do something that's easy. If it's there, they'll behaviorally do it. Then we'll also move on to the program audits. We'll talk about the landfill audit. That one no one liked. Then we'll talk about the process audit, and then we'll talk about the end user audit. So what is zero waste to landfill? So basically it's saying we're using the Underwriter Laboratory. Has anyone heard of UL? So UL basically says that virtually zero waste to landfill is constantly achieving a landfill waste diversion rate of 98%. That's huge. 98% of everything that we produce that's waste cannot go to landfill. 2% is a very, very, very small number. So it's very hard to do. Zero waste reflects an emphasis on the 3 R's. And also waste should be managed in a beneficial way that all waste are eliminated and then recycled, reused, reclaimed. So after all that is done, only after everything's implemented, such programs are unavailable, shall incineration be considered as a beneficial waste disposal method. But there's a caveat to that. It's just not throw it in an incinerator and let it go into the air. It's incinerated for power generation or for yield a positive energy benefit. In order to claim zero waste status, the site has to keep 3 consecutive months to demonstrate that they're at zero waste. But if you remember, if we go back a slide, another keyword, consistently. So even though it says 3 consecutive months, the only way to truly maintain it, so this is just to get your first certification. This is just to say, hey, we're certified as zero waste. But the moment you are not consistently demonstrated, you are no longer a zero waste landfill facility. All right, I'm going to walk you through these waste streams that we had at the facility. So wooden pallets. We have a tremendous amount of product that's shipped in and out with pallets. You wouldn't believe how many pallets we have. Well, we actually take those wooden pallets and we have a company, a third party, they actually chip them and turn them into mulch. And if you look at this little key up here, it says recycle or reuse is in green, and they're color coded here. Incinerate with no energy recovery in blue. Incinerate with energy recovery. So that's your little key as we go through each and every one of these waste streams. And I'll be real quick about it. All right, so cardboard is standard paper, is another standard waste stream that gets recycled. That's a common one everybody knows about. Universal waste, that one is a common waste stream most corporations deal with, and that one is actually recycled, hence the term universal waste. Now medical waste, here's the safety guy. So why do you think we have medical waste at a manufacturing facility? Anyone? First aid, yes. Who said that? Good one. That's great. Yeah, so believe it or not, remember we said we're industrial athletes. It's a dangerous job. Oh, I apologize. It's a dangerous job working with 2,000 degree parts and 6 million pounds of force. And actually, just a little pat on our back, Eaton South Bend is only one of 84 companies in the state of Indiana that are voluntary protection program STAR certified from IOSHA. So that's a very huge monumental task for us to do. And we have demonstrated that our injury rate is at least one person, or at the most one person a year. And last year, our injury was a laceration to the index finger that required 4 sutures. So it's what we call too big, but still it was a minor injury, it wasn't a major injury. But back to the medical waste. So the only way to treat that is through incineration, and by law, you cannot use that for any sort of power generation, because the way that OSHA has it and IDEM sets it up is there's things called bloodborne pathogens. There's a whole long list of reasons why we can't do it. So that's our 2%, but it's not really 2%. It's like 0.0000001%. So moving on. So aluminum cans, maintenance scrap, plastic bottles. Those are common types of waste streams that everybody's familiar about the recycling of. Gloves. So talking about the forging industry, we use a lot of lubricant, and what happens is we change out our gloves a lot. So we have a service provider that comes in and they actually wash all of our gloves, and then when they're unserviceable, then we just recycle them. So we have a program to also sustain our glove program to make sure that we're not actually burning through unneeded gloves. All right, general waste. So this one, incinerate with energy recovery. So like most facilities, we have 100 people, 100 teammates. They're going to generate waste. They eat. We have a cafeteria. So there's certain things that don't fall within our waste streams that will have to actually go to a compactor. We have a compactor on site. It's a 20-yard compactor, and it takes 6 months to fill it up, which, if most people know, that's actually amazing that it takes that long to fill up a trash can, basically. So, and then that gets hauled off and then it gets incinerated. All right, and then rags is the same thing as gloves. We have a program where they actually wash the rags and then they bring them back, and rags you can pretty much use until they're napkin size. Then visitor vests, built cooling bay. So this one was our water conservation project. I'll talk to you later about that. And aerosol can content. A lot of people don't know that aerosol cans are actually hazardous waste until the material's been evacuated from it, and we use a carbon filter and we evacuate the material, and then the can can be scrapped for scrap metal, and then you can actually incinerate the contents, and that's what we do here as part of our energy recovery program. And then wastewater, so we actually have a little bit of we have a pressure washing system at our facility, so we get a lot of dyes, a lot of things covered in grease, as you can imagine. But we also have an oil water separator, so we can take the water out of the oil. And then metal scrap, metal dust, and then shavings, and then metal scrap. Obviously, you can see how that's easily, that waste stream is easily recycled. So talking about the 3 R's here, part of our Eaton South Bend plan was to lean manufacturing to reduce waste quantity through tooling. So we have these non-conventional parts, and when you hit them, that's our lingo for when that press 6 million pounds comes down, we say hit. So when you hit them, there's a little bit of scrap around the ring. So part of our program is how do we reduce that scrap? How do we make it tooling so that that scrap doesn't exist? Another thing we look at is material substitutions to reduce waste toxicity. Does anyone know what SDS is? Safety data sheet. There you go. We got a almost called you a teammate. So a safety data sheet is what the manufacturer sends to us. So if I buy methyl ethyl death, this crazy chemical, well, they're going to have to, by law, there's this HAZCOM law, I'm not going to get all into that, but they're going to have to send you a safety data sheet to tell you, what's the exposure, what PPE, what firefighting, what waste removal process, what do I have to do to remove this off of my facility? So what we do at South Bend and across Eaton globally is we review every single SDS through a risk matrix. And what we determine, there's this risk number, RN number, that we get at the end. And it has all these questions. And you go through the safety data sheet and you say, how do we make it less toxic in our facility? Who wants a carcinogenic, something that causes cancer, right? Who wants that in our facility? Who wants something that is a hazardous waste when it's done? So part of our goal is to find substitute chemicals that still provide a function that we need without having a waste stream that's toxic to our environment. So then we have options to recycle, including the potential for recovery reuse of waste directly into existing process, billet cooling bay. We'll talk about that later on. That's our water conservation project. And then setting defined goals annually. Again, we want to continuously improve. We have this CI council. We have a CI team that actually their goal is to continuously improve every single aspect of our facility. We have many teams. And then culture and awareness, including training of affected associates. So when we have a process that we expect our teammates to help out with, we have to communicate that. So every Wednesday we have these things that they're called a take two. And this take two, we have teammates come up and talk about, hey, what are we doing in the facility? Or what training do we need? Or we have this new process. We can't move our scrap here, it has to be there. So it's our communication. It's our way to get teammates involved. And then there's a Q&A at the end. So everybody's like, hey, I don't think that's going to work, or I like that idea, or I think we should do it this way. Have you thought of it that way? And what that does is if anyone's taking an organizational behavior class, what that does is it gets them to be a part of the solution. And when someone feels like they're a part of the solution, then they don't want it to fail. So they actively pursue to help achieve your same goal. So it's very important to utilize the teammates that you have for any job that you do. This is basically saying the same thing the last slide said, with the exception of, we mentioned the engaged employees, the cultivate to waste segregation and minimization culture. But then we talked about the 98% diversion to landfill, And we talked about how difficult it is, right? This part right here is the one I wanted to highlight. Our waste management partner, Heritage. So we have this company called Heritage Interactive, and they help us with those small little waste streams that kind of seem to be outside of our capability to like minimize, reduce, and they give us ideas like, oh, we can do it this way, or we can do it that way. So they're our kind of guidance from a subject matter expert level. And remember I talked about the plant layout map? Well, right here, this is one press line. Of course, our engineers, they built this, so it's not really user-friendly. But, so each one of these is a press line, right? That's press line, press line. If you look at this, green box is on every press line or in every functional area. It's a recycling center. The teammate doesn't have to go far. It's right there. It's convenient. It drives behavior. So it's very important to, when you roll out with a program, have everything available there for them and give them the knowledge to be successful and give them the tools where they want to achieve the same goal. All right, so remember that landfill audit? So we had teammates. We had the green team. They had to go all the way out to the landfill to verify what's the waste stream. So we implemented all that. We put the recycling containers out. We did our segregation. We did the washing of the gloves. The pallets go here. They're getting turned into mulch. Everything's looking great. Then, now it's time to see what we have in that container after 6 months. So they had to travel to Elkhart. Imagine that, where the landfill is, and then they dump the container out in one spot. And they called it the dumpster dive. So they went through seeing, hey, are we actually doing what we're supposed to do? And it's very important to make sure our waste stream that's going to the landfill is important because a company called Coventa is receiving that. So our waste that can't be recycled, reused, reduced, that would normally go to the landfill after that, goes to Coventa. And what they do is they incinerate it. They make steam. And they power Eli Lilly. Has anyone heard of Eli Lilly? They generate power for Eli Lilly. What about Mercedes? Anyone heard of Mercedes? They power Mercedes manufacturing. So not only are our waste is becoming someone else's energy. So process audit. We want to make sure that the program's working. So we randomly sample some of our recycling centers to look at it and see, hey, are we doing what we're saying we're doing? And that's kind of like the honest checks and balance. Make sure over time, behavior can shift, right? Like, oh, we achieved our goal. Then you can kind of shift. So the goal of that is to say, hey, keep us honest. Let's do spot checks. And let's communicate. That goes all the way back to the take two on a Wednesday. Like, hey, we found this. We got to make sure we're segregating. Is there any better ideas? Or we staying true to the plan? Because ultimately, the end user does an audit. The contractor will randomly pull one of our bins to see, are we actually giving them the waste stream? Because it's very important when they incinerate something that doesn't create a toxic atmosphere, a toxic environment. It can destroy their machine. So there's a lot of good reasons why it has to be a specific type of waste. And it's usually refuse, food, trash, things that can't be recycled. So this is kind of the visual aid. So we talked about the process, the charter. Here's the green team with their green shirts. Going down to they went to benchmark the Subaru plant in Lafayette, Indiana. Then they had brought back tips. And when they came back, they said, hey, it's take two time. It's Wednesday. This is what we found. And they introduced it to the other teammates. This isn't like some unilateral team that just does something for the good of everybody else. They actually got everybody involved, asked their ideas, told them this is what we're seeing, how can we implement it here? And then there's that dumpster dive. They said they had a good time. And then trash can giveaway. If you go to our facility, the only waste can you'll see is just in 3 areas. one in the cafeteria, one in the main office part, and then one in the training room. Because that's the only places you'll be eating. The rest of it has to be recycled, has to be reused. So it kind of drives behavior. There's not one trash can in the entire facility. So they had a trash can giveaway. Here, take our trash cans, we don't need them anymore. So it's pretty interesting when we have a guest, they're like, hey, where's your trash can? You know, they're looking all over for it. So I've been promising about this water conservation. We talked about this billet cooling thing. So normally, when we actually heat billets up, 2,000 degrees, right? And then like, oh, something happened. We can't use this die, so the tooling, or the part isn't laying right, so the quality, they're like, oh, we gotta stop the run, the quality's not right. So all these billets that are hot, they go in these hot tubs. And then they take them, because they're not gonna scrap them out. I mean, think about it. If you have a 34-pound billet and you got 200 of them, or 100 of them, or 50, it's a lot of weight. So what they do is they put them in a hot tub and they cool them down in these cooling showers. Well, before, that water would just accumulate. Just think of how many tubs you're doing every single day. It's going on. And we also clean billets too before we put them in the loading bowl and then into the press. So what we did is we looped the system, put a filter in. So we run that water continuously in a loop without adding any other water. And then until it is so bad where it's actually clogging the sprinkler heads. That's when we take it out and have advanced waste. Take it out and they filter out any of the particulate, and then we actually incinerate that if we need to, or it goes to scrap metal. It's mostly scrap metal, so then it goes back to the scrap pile. But it's just amazing how that simple idea, that was a teammate. Why don't we just run water through it? Why don't we just recirculate that? So everybody has great ideas, but people just don't speak up. Oh, I don't want to say anything, or they won't like my idea. So another one was the induction cooling, coil cooling. So remember we talked about the 2,000 degrees. I'm sure you're going to remember a couple things from this one being 2,000 degrees. So the 2,000 degree coil, you have to cool it down. So when you shut the plant down, you just can't rely on it just to atmospherically cool. You know, it could take quite a while. So what we do is we use water to cool it down. And when we do that, you have to do it in a certain way to prevent it from cracking. And long story short, a teammate came up with an idea of how to cool it down with using minimal water and minimal strain, and then that allows us to actually reduce the amount of water consumption that we have. So a future conservation project is cooling towers. So we have inverters. We use a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of electricity, and we actually have inverters that are water cooled. Imagine that. Electricity and water don't mix. Everybody hears that. We generate so much heat that they actually have to cool it with water. We have this tool, it's called a cross wedge roll. It uses enough power to power 20 homes. 20 homes. It's a crazy energy user. So what we ended up doing is we want to modify our cooling towers where we make them more efficient, because evaporation allows the water to dissipate, and what happens is we actually have to pump more water into the system. So we're looking at a better way of actually cooling down those inverters. All right, with that being said, energy usage reduction. Talking about all that inverter power and using all that electricity. We're looking at solar panels. We're looking at substation upgrade. I mean, when we're looking at it, it's a current conversation going on right now. I was out for 28 days. I was out of work. I had time off. And I was seeing a flurry of emails about the solar project. And I'm like, oh, I'm off. I need to attend this. I need to do that. But so it's an ongoing thing. We're looking at what can the city help us with as far as ideas, vendors, what can we do, and then also looking at substation upgrades. So there's more efficient ways. We have our own substation since we use so much power. But what's the most efficient way for us to utilize the power that goes into the substation? And then strategies are being reviewed, feasibility. studies are being done in energy production. What amount of energy? Is it going to be substantial or is it going to be minimal? What impact is it going to have on us in totality? So the one thing I ask everyone here to do is to truly choose zero. I mean, everywhere you go, at work, I mean, this is an opportunity. Take the lessons learned from our facility, our teammates. They came up with a lot of this. I mean, that's that cross-functional team. That's everybody putting in the sweat equity, as they say. So please do so. All right, thank you very much.